Happy Halloween, everybody. It's a spooky holiday this month, so what game should I play? Well, the game I chose was Pac-Man Party. Now you may be thinking, why not play a game like Friday the 13th on the NES? Two reasons. One, my RetroPie, which is a console that holds NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Atari 2600 games, still needs to be fixed. Me and my uncle are still working on it, so I can't do it right now. And two, there's a YouTuber going around. I haven't seen his video, but he has reviewed Friday the 13th for one of his first episodes. So I don't want people thinking I'm copying him. Yeah, so Pac-Man Party will be the game I will review. But this game isn't spooky, so why am I reviewing it? Well, the spooky part is that this game has been haunting me ever since I set my eyes on it. But it's finally time to take off my nostalgia-blind glasses and play this game again. Oh joy. Look at the rating. E10 and up. Somebody at the ESRB looked at this game and recommended it for 10-year-olds? I played this game when I was 4. Sure, that's a low rating for a game, but it should have been rated 3 and up, or at least E. Not for 10-year-olds. Sonic's 20th anniversary was a screw-up, and it doesn't look like Pac-Man's 30th is getting any better. By the way, this game was based off of Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, and the only way I know that is because, well, I used to watch this show when I was a kid. Looking at the box art, everybody will probably look familiar to you, except for a few people. You could see Pac-Man, Inky, Blinky, and Clyde. But who are these three? Apparently their names are Woofa, Roger, and Patra. There's a cool intro at the start, but then stock music. Why not the Pac-Man theme song? Who would have guessed that the classic theme song plays when you go into the classic games? Speaking of which, they're just okay. So we're given the option of party mode, story mode, classic games, and mini games. I'm playing party mode, and it's Halloween time. So what stage do you think I'm gonna play? Of course I'm gonna play Spooky Hollow, even though it's not spooky at all. There is a pretty good customizable setting for how many cookies you need to... Wait, cookies? What happened to pellets? It's not a big difference, but still. Who in the brainstorming session came up with the name of cookies? Okay, so let's play the game. The goal is to collect a certain amount of pellets, and yes, I'm calling them pellets, not cookies. Sadly, just like every single crappy party game, you don't play a minigame after the 4-player turn. But instead of rolling a dice or hitting a block, you play a micro game to see how far you move. Some people would probably say that's like a minigame, but really, it's kind of like the more WarioWare micro games, except they're boring. So, yeah, I don't like them. In the middle of everything, you can build castles, which you trigger them by either landing on an empty space or an untaken castle. If you land on someone else's castle, then you play a mini game. That isn't the worst thing ever. But here's the thing. If someone lands on your property, you're on defense. If you land on somebody else's property, you're on attack. The problem is that the mini games are all 4-player. So, what happens if you're not on attack or defense and you win? Nothing. The player who got the closest to first get on defense or attack gets the pellets. Now that is what butters my aggravation. By the way, why don't the mini games let you use a nunchuck? Because they don't want you to be a warrior. Come at me, bro.
During the game, you can land on event spaces, which are actually pretty useful if you need more pellets or need to go further. But the bad part about this is if the computer players land on an event space, you're forced to watch them one after the other. Damn. That's like if I'm in school and I finish a math test before anyone else, so I'm forced to watch everyone do their test. I don't have footage of this, but during the first round I played, all 3 computers landed on an event space, so I had to wait a long time. Oh, and yes, I said all 3 computers. I didn't want anyone else to suffer with me. If you pass the start during the game, you receive pellets, like Monopoly. That's fine. But what I seriously hate about this game is that since the goal is to collect a certain amount of pellets, you would think that once you've collected all the pellets, you'd be done, right? No. Instead, once you've collected all the pellets, you need to go back to the start to win. I am dead serious. That's nuts. That means if somebody gets enough pellets after they pass start, they need to go all the way back to start. But that means someone who could win before the person even that had enough pellets could even get there in the first place. Now that seriously makes me angry. Who the actual heck came up with this? Probably someone who was half asleep by the time they got the chance to talk. And they probably talked like this. I think that we should have the play of the event to the in. Oh, and do you want to know how to pause it? Yeah, you try everything. Holding plus, plus and minus, B and plus, but nothing works. So what do you gotta do? Nothing. There's no pause button. You're not allowed to pause the game once. You gotta hit the home button. Even during the classic games, it's so hard to figure out. I can't believe that I'm saying this, but Pac-Man's 30th anniversary, in my perspective, was almost ruined by this game. The Pac-Man Google Doodle is what would save it. Also, depending on what level is, you can do this kind of boss thing where you fight an enemy, but it's more like a mega mini game. Trying to make up because they knew they screwed up by not just putting the mini game in after the 4-player cycle. Real creative. And guess what else? There was a 3DS port of this game called Pac-Man Party 3D. What? Taking an already crappy Wii game and porting it onto a handheld? Who came up with that? Why would you do that? This is exactly the reason why Pac-Man Party failed. It's a good idea turning a beloved game franchise into a spin-off, but they messed it up so badly that nobody even remembers it. Oh, and who would have guessed? Since this game is on the Wii, of course there's gonna be some motion control. Who would have guessed? I'm so smart. Gotta go faster. Next time, don't mess with the gamer. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to make more reviews in the future.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!